You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons and Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 235, posted April 2020. Non-union ghosts.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. I am your Dungeon Master, Tony Sindelar. Today we are continuing the adventures of the Dog and Pony Show. Why have they come to Barovia, a land they've escaped and now been sentenced to some kind of horrible imprisonment in? Why have they gone to a church in a spooky town? Why is the ground outside glowing? For answers to questions such as these, let us play Dungeons & Dragons right now, you nerds. Joining us, it's the Dog and Pony Show regulars. Let me introduce them, and they will tell you their character names. First off, it's Aline Sims.
You ask a lot of good questions. I'm playing, as ever, Imra Soliana and her beloved pal, Androdite.
Imro is joined by, well, not Micah Sargent. Micah Sargent's here representing another person that he'll introduce right now.
Yes, you are joined by, we're joined by Elevor, the half-elf druid character who likes to turn into other animals.
And Micah and Aline are joined by longtime Dog and Pony Show player Erica Ensign. Hi, Erica.
Hello, I am playing Brildish, still the dwarf who wanted to be a cleric and didn't quite make it, so as a paladin instead. And I have a pony. It's very important.
Very important. Pony Sindelar. Mm-hmm. Also joining us, the former dungeon master of the Dog and Pony Show, now disgraced and resigned to the lowly fate of a player. It's Dan Moore.
I was deposed. This coup.
You asked me to run an adventure so that you could play in it.
No one needs to know that.
Oh, I like the drama version.
This comes
better.
right from the top.
I am playing a new associate of the Dog and Pony Show crew. I am playing Cast in Onatar's Crucible, a Warforged cleric.
And your friends call you Crucible.
They do, because my other name's a little unwieldy.
And last but not least, a new challenger arrives. It's Jane Ritt. Hi, Jane.
Hi, I'm playing Lena Dulina, a mysterious denizen of these lands.
Well, in our previous session, you arrived in Barovia. You committed to helping move a corpse, classic hour 2 stuff on a Tuesday. And you spent the night in a church. It is still that night that you are spending. Things in that church are not great. There is something strange in the basement that you've talked to the priest about, the priest being Father Donovich. You have spent time watching over the corpse of one former burgermeister. Word I'm going to say. Former burgermeister. Let me make sure I get the name of the burgermeister correct. Kolyan Indirovich, while his 2 adult children sleep nearby, that being Ismar Kolyana and Irina Kolyana. Unfortunately, the burgermeister expired recently in somewhat mysterious circumstances. It was attributed to the devil, as you do. And so you spent the first half of the night listening to screaming coming from the basement, and everything was great until the ground outside the church started glowing green. And I believe that is where we left off. So, what will we do next, Dungeon and Dragon nerds?
Does everybody else see the ground glowing? That is most unusual.
Definitely not normal.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
Not even for these lands.
I'm going to try a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Just a 11. Okay, that's better than 5. It's an 11.
Okay. You feel pretty confident, Imra, that the ground is green,
And
glowing with
glowing.
green light, and that this is, supernatural or magical in origin.
Yeah.
It does not seem like it's phosphorescent moss or plant life or some animal that you are familiar with. And I'll even say it looks like perhaps things are starting to kind of move up through the ground and the light is getting more intense.
So what is the situation with these windows? How clearly can we see through them and how large are they?
They're stained glass windows. This church is somewhat modest, so they're not big. I suspect you're kind of seeing through some of the parts that are either clear or are missing panes.
Yep.
But so you're kind of getting like a green glow coming in, just barely illuminating the edges of the church. Does that seem?
Yep.
Does that make sense?
So peeking outside, what does the situation look like?
Do you want to go to the doors of the church and
Oh,
leave?
dear.
I'd like to peek through a window.
That was a leading question.
Yeah, let's.
Does anyone else want to go to the front door of the church and unbar it and cast the doors open?
Oh, yeah.
No, I really
No.
like the window idea.
Yeah. All right. Lena Delina, why don't you approach one of the windows of your choice and
Yeah.
give me a perception roll? Imra, I'll assume you were doing something similar.
Yes.
18.
All right. You look out and you see it is indeed, it looks like it's specifically kind of the graveyard behind the church is glowing. It's not all of the terrain around the church, but,
course.
the graveyard north of it. And
Yeah.
it looks like there are ghostly figures glowing green rising up from the graveyard. And you would say many. Dozens and dozens.
Can I
Scores and
make-
scores, if you will.
Can I make a religion check to see if I know what these particular undead, I'm assuming, fiends
Mhm.
are?
Sure.
I got a 10.
I'm going to
Oh,
do the
sorry.
same.
You want to do something, Brothers? Go for it.
I'm just gonna do the same religion.
Okay.
And that is not a lot better. What's
We'll
my
assume that
religion? Oh, it's a
everyone has
plus
kind
two.
of found a
Yeah.
window that they are peering
13.
out. 13 and 10. I'm gonna say that it seems like these things are incorporeal, and so you could probably conclude that they are probably some kind of ghost or restless spirit, as opposed to a zombie, a ghoul, a skeleton. I can name a lot of undead things,
Keep
so I'm
going,
gonna
keep
stop
going.
now.
How many can you name?
A ghast.
I am aghast.
So a white.
So in terms of their demeanor, do they look angry?
Happy?
Do they look roving? Do they,
They
look
look-
like they're having a good time?
They look
Pretty.
tired. They look, especially as you're starting to see them now, more and more of them are kind of like pulling themselves out of the grave and kind of floating in place over the places where perhaps they were interred, or at least their spirits are tethered. And they do not look like kind of the average people of Barovia, little Barovia, that you've seen, or Lena Delina in your case, big Barovia. They look actually kind of like adventurers, kind of like you. They're clad in armor and capes and leather and metal, and they have great swords and bows and arrows and axes.
Are they really
and
that great?
Wizards with wizards with long beards and strange pointed hats, and they seem to be kind of like just kind of gathering their things, looking around at where they're going. And it looks like a few kind of on the edge of the graveyard have started marching out of the graveyard down
In what
the road,
direction?
south. So they have to take the long way around the building, but they're
So they're
heading
not
south.
coming to for us, basically.
They do not seem, if they either seem oblivious to your existence or unaware of it, or disinterested.
Isn't that the same thing?
Probably.
Is there now? You mentioned the front doors.
Dan,
I would like.
Sorry.
Where's that
like-
dungeon master to dungeon master courtesy?
Yeah, whatever.
Erica.
So you mentioned the front door. I'm not throwing it open. But does it have any? Is there like a window in it, or some way that we could look to see? Are they continuing farther to the south, or are there no windows in the front of the church?
The front door is just a big, heavy wooden set of double doors, and it has been barred, and the church was not designed to watch ghosts head from south to north, or from north to south. More and more of the spirits are rising up out of the graveyard, gathering their things, and
Crucible
heading
will head for the
south.
door, and he will, once there, turn around and say, I am going to investigate further, but if you would like to stay inside, please bar the door after me.
Oh, my God.
man.
You can't go by yourself.
What's your deal?
Crucible, from where you're standing by the door, you can hear the continual screaming of the creature in the basement.
Hmm.
Ah! Just for
I
reference.
will go along with you if if you're going to go outside. I don't think anybody should go outside by themselves. I think maybe everybody should stay inside, but you look like you maybe have your mind made up.
They look like they're deceased adventurers, and I fear that if you leave, you will soon join them.
Ooh, nice way of putting that.
I am merely interested in such a unique phenomenon.
Do they not have
Ba-da-ba-da.
ghosts
Sorry.
where you come from?
Well, not with such organization, in my experience.
Our ghosts are not union.
I think it's a really bad idea.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can we maybe convince you to stay inside?
You have no interest in knowing where they are going with such alacrity?
Okay, now we've got the thesaurus out.
Well, I admit I am kind of curious about that.
How far are we from, like, town?
Not far. Like a very short walk.
So
And
if
they
the
are-
ghosts began to, like, massacre townspeople, we would hear that?
Probably. I would say
Okay.
you're within the screams of massacre range.
I feel like maybe the best course of action. If you
It is silent. They have
Right.
no footsteps. There is just the sound of, the wind at night. Town quiet, middle of the night. So
Mhm. I mean, maybe we should wait until all of the ghosts that are going to go have gone, and then we can open the door and peek after them and see what direction they went.
How many more are they still continuously coming?
yes, you've seen dozens and dozens climbing out of the ground, gathering
feel
their
like
things,
Going out in the middle of
marching off.
of that mass would maybe be dangerous. I mean,
Ye-
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of itching for a battle, but even like that's too many. That's too many.
Wow.
Are any of your animal companions skilled in tailing prey, or do you have any means of investigating them without being detected?
We don't know Pony's backstory, but maybe Pony Cindelarn is a detective. Pony Cindelarn, consulting detective.
He appeared wearing a deer stalker. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Is it possible for us to at least open the door and get a look at where they are headed?
I could become a bird and just follow along with them.
Oh,
That's true.
Wait, I think. Hold on, let me see.
Can you?
You turn
can
into
fly
an
it?
octopus and you can't turn into a bird for
Oh
sure.
wait, no, I can't. I
What?
have no flying speed until 8th level, but I could become a rat and follow them.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
There are lots
I've-
of rats in Barovia.
I feel like a rat would blend right in this place.
Yes. How does everyone feel about that? Splitting the party. Pew, pew, pew.
Well, we
You
would
could also just open the front door.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
No, wait, a rat.
How are we
A
gonna
rat
get
can find a
ready?
place to scurry out. Come on.
There's plenty of gaps in the foundation here in this
Ghosts
church.
can go through doors.
Oh, that's also true.
Hmm.
Are you
Yeah.
selling everybody
But-
on the idea they should reroll ghost characters, Jane?
I'm learning so much.
Then this whole door thing wouldn't be a problem.
It's true.
You guys are really
Okay.
limited by your corporeal nature.
Elivor looks around at everybody and says, if we're curious about where they're going and we aren't feeling too keen on getting ourselves in danger, I have no problem turning into one of my mini beasties and following along with this group. Just call me Rotivore if that's what you'd like.
I am concerned that in the form of a rat, you might find yourself defenseless should the spirits turn on you.
Yes, if they turn on you, turn back into a human and scream.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
That's
Although
a
I can't,
great
I am not a
plan.
human, so I'll turn it into a half a human.
Yes.
Wow.
That is
Wow, Lena Tulina.
She's
Classic
from
Barovian
Barovia. They don't
racism.
have elves and stuff.
They've got some. You just are, you've had a very sheltered existence. So
Yes, that's true.
And with that, you see Elivor just like shrink down into this tiny, adorable little rat. And his little whiskers are all beep, 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 and he's making
Before-
cute little squeaky sounds. And I know there's a Canadian here, so please don't hurt me.
Albertan specifically.
Yeah.
Rats are allowed in
Albertans,
Canada,
yes,
just
that's
not in
true.
Alberta.
before Rotivore can scurry off. Crucible crouches down behind him and gives him a pat on the head.
Oh.
And you see a slight glow as he says, "Perhaps if you need this, I may be of service." So I've bestowed guidance upon you. So the next time, if you need to make an ability check in the next minute or so, then you'll get a D4 bonus.
Excellent. So
we'll
if I
say that
need
there's a
some-
little convenient rat-sized cartoon door next to the main doors. You know, your
Nice.
perfect little U-shaped hole in the baseboard. So, Elevor, if you would like, you can slip right out and you're out on the steps of the church.
Such a
Boom.
bad idea. So bad.
So, Elevor, while you were discussing your plan, it's clear that more and more ghosts have joined this spectral procession. Give me a quick perception math from a rat check.
Definitely can do.
Is that like a kiss from a rose?
Perception.
Well, there are
from
certainly a lot
rat.
of graves.
Let's see. Plus, that's 14.
I would say just by some quick rat math, you would guess that there are now several hundred ghosts marching. And you can see that they are not marching they are kind of just barely going into town. You can see now that there's a procession. They seem to be moving. I mean, they're supernatural, right? They're ghosts.
Yeah.
But even for ghosts, they're moving very fast. And they are glowing with this intense green light. And you can almost see like a line of them disappearing into the distance as they've marched kind of south from the church, from the graveyard, and then headed out of town and into the woods, the Svalich woods outside Little Barovia, and up the mountain. And you can see this green glowing line of ghostly adventurers snaking up the mountain toward the castle on the peak above Little Barovia.
I want to scurry toward the mount.
Well, the mountain is quite a ways away.
Oh.
So it would take you probably the better part of a day to climb the mountain.
Then I don't want to do that. Can I try to get close to one of these?
Sure,
or like
there's
a
dozens
clump?
of them just streaming past within, let's say they're basically passing 40 or 50 feet from the front door of the church.
Okay, so I'm just like here now,
Mhm.
sort of just like looking up at them.
Yep, your little
I'll-
rat hanging
Let
out
me.
in the brush.
How about what do you think there, Tony guy? You think an Arcana check? You thinking a religion check? I can do either for you.
I feel like
Is this
is
the
more
rat voice?
This is the rat voice. Yeah, this is the rat voice. See, hey Tony boy, what do you want there? Huh?
Now,
You wanna-
Micah, you got to be careful. You do these things, then you're stuck doing them every time you're a rat. Let me tell you, I played that game and I lost.
Oh, Professor Rat, I heard of you, Professor Rat.
Professor Rat.
All right, Gamma World callback. So, non-Professor Rat, rat grad student, give me a religion check.
I'm gonna give you a religion check, and I'm also gonna add +4 to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not +4, but plus D4,
Because you are guided by
because I got guidance.
Crucible.
All right, we got wow. You said religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be 19. That's gonna be 23.
These seem to be the souls of former adventurers who seem to be trapped here in Barovia now. Obviously, there's a variety of religions and you have different ideas about what happens to souls. And due to the complicated nature of theology in Dungeons & Dragons, where, gods do specific works that give you like magical powers, you have different ideas about where people go when they die. But apparently these people eternally kind of rematerialize in a graveyard behind a church in Barovia and march up the hill, up the mountain to the castle to die again in a fight with the devil.
The afterlife
Okay.
sucks.
Interesting. Rodovor wants to do one last
They
thing
look-
before he returns to his group.
Their gear looks kind of like heroic and impressive, but their faces just look so very tired. And, they look kind of dead-eyed, which, they're dead. So that's not offensive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to, Rodovor wants to do one scurry check to see if he can actually, is it corporeal? Can I climb up it?
Sure.
So, scurry check. I'm sorry, screwy check. That's what I meant.
Thank you.
This whole time, I've gone up to the altar and I am praying to Hala for the safety of my friend Elivor.
Okay.
I got a 2 on that there screwy check.
It's hard to tell if you're bad at scurrying, but you kind of tumble through one of the ghosts in a way that suggests that they're not there, but also maybe you're just the clumsiest rat ever.
Yeah, scurrying was new for me. This one was new
Rotovor,
for
the
me.
clumsiest rat. Saturdays at 9.
Great children's book.
Okay, well, I think that I don't think I can really gain anything else from this since it would take me forever to go toward the castle. So I guess I'll just scurry on back inside. And
Yeah, they seem to be kind of like, as they are marching, picking up. You watch them like picking up speed, and it's almost like they're like sprinting, more than sprinting, as the stream of ghosts climbs up the mountain. So yeah.
All right.
Because it has been like, less than an hour, and you can already see, even from this distance, the line of green ghostly figures reaching the top of the mountain and where the castle is.
So I'm going to stay in rat form for now.
That does make it hard to communicate with your friends.
It does. However, we already established that there was some window-looking outage happening. So they very well could have seen that I was doing this at the ghost, and maybe it was a bad scurry, or maybe there was no way to get up the person. But other than that, I don't really think that there's any other knowledge that I could pass along, because we can very easily see that they're all heading in one way.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that was pointless is what I'm saying.
Well, lots of things are pointless here in Barovia. Big Barovia.
That's true.
And so you return to the church, the place where someone continues to scream in the basement, "Ah, feed me!
I'm hungry."
The body of the Burgermeister lays by the altar. Irina and Ismark have somehow continued to sleep through the screaming.
Wow.
Through the spectral marching of the ghost.
Yeah.
They probably
Ismark,
had been
that's
up for
not
a couple
surprising.
days. Yeah, Ismark is, it seems likely that they probably had not slept in several days. So,
Right.
you could have woken them up. You hear
Listen to all this fun screaming.
yeah, check it out. Now you can go
Misery
back to
loves
sleep. You can hear the sound of Father Danovich kind of praying softly in his chambers.
Wait, is he in his chambers or his son's chambers? Because I think on the map he's in his kids' room.
I think
now.
perhaps the last we saw him, he was in his son's chamber. So he's in his son's chambers kneeling at the foot of the bed, kind of softly praying to himself.
Are there clocks in Barovia? Like what time is it?
There are not clocks in Barovia.
There's a sundial.
Barovia.
We're going to establish that there are many things lacking in Barovia. One of them, clocks.
Clocks. Okay.
Please make a list and remind me, because I'm making these things up as I go. There are no clocks in
Definitely.
Barovia. It is
Beer clocks.
so far no beer, no clocks.
Yeah.
So you can't keep watching it. You suspect it is well into the middle of the night, past midnight at this point.
Okay.
Are we going to try to get some sleep, you guys?
Yes, please.
Think
Because
we
then I can turn back
probably
into not a rat.
In shifts, I suggest.
Yeah, and I can do, I think I need 4 or 6 hours. I don't need a full night.
I do 6 hours and I'm conscious during the entire thing.
Spooky.
Huh. Okay. So
So
we can
I-
do shifts, and
Mhm.
then Crucible is just Crucible the whole time.
Yes.
He just sort of sits down cross-legged and essentially
Low
assumes
power
like a
mode.
meditation pose.
Right.
Mm. So are you conscious? Are you fully aware of your surroundings?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty useful.
I can
That's
see and
amazing.
hear as normal.
Just going to make a note here. Harder to murder them in their sleep.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, how do you like this cautious party?
Figure
I
out
don't-
how to destroy Crucible first. I'm just going to write that down here.
So I don't need to sleep. I meditate for 4 hours a day semi-consciously. I don't know what semi-consciously means in this context. but-
Crucible and Imra just do the slowly high five. Well,
Yeah, you just over the course of your period
Yeah.
of
6
Focus.
hours slow high five.
Imra would not do that.
for the record.
I'm having trouble picturing it.
Please do not leave me hanging.
So some of your less magical compatriots here may have the challenge in that you have now stayed up very late. It is probably, let's say it's about 6 hours until dawn. So some of you may not get the benefit of a full rest, depending on,
But we do get a short rest?
Yeah, you definitely get a short rest. And you can sleep in shifts, and Crucible can always take a shift, basically. And unless you wish to do anything else, eventually the stream of ghosts comes to an end, and it gets a little bit darker as the outside of the church is no longer illuminated by green spectral forces. This is a good time to catch a nap. Surely I won't murder you in your sleep.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I have something called natural recovery.
Oh, it gets you some of your spell slots back up to a certain number of. It depends on your level and the level of the spell slots, I think.
So it says this is what's the confusing part. The opening thing says once per long rest during a short rest.
Yeah, so once every day during one of the short rests you take during that day,
which is now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's
so
once per day, but you have to do
now.
it during a short rest.
Now I understand. Okay.
Yes. So, Micah, you could choose to do that now if you wished. And unless you want to do anything else while the night progresses, we can skip forward to dawn. How about that?
Montage of the non-existing clock moving forward quickly.
So if we require 8 hours of sleep, we're not getting a full night's rest.
Nope. Such is the punishment of watching vigil over a former burgermeister.
Well, the only spell I cast yesterday was making a pony. So,
and does that pony go away at night or anything, or is the pony forever?
Well, the pony is until it dies, and that brings up an important question. Do I use the generic amount of hit points for the pony, or should I roll them? Because it's either 11 points or 2d8 plus 2.
That's up to you.
Do you have?
I think technically you had to decide that when you summoned the pony. Can I ask a dumb question? Can you choose where you summon the pony? Like, can you drop ponies on people?
It has to be in an unoccupied space, so maybe.
Air is unoccupied.
Does it have to be on the ground, is what I'm asking. Not that I'm giving you any ideas, but this was immediately where my mind went to.
Really? Because sounds like an idea.
No, it just says an unoccupied space within range, and that range is 30 feet. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to point out ponies will take damage when you drop them on people, but also the people will take damage.
Fair. All right. Well, I will go with the generic number of hit points for pony. So pony has 11 hit points, but when I summon another pony after this one dies, that one I'll roll for.
Okay. I hope you've got a list of ponies picked out for the number of ponies that you're going to burn through.
They're all going to be pony Cindelarnt. Like, just,
right. I don't know how I feel about that. And so time passes.
There's nothing you can do.
No, I have no power here. And so time passes. It is dark and it is quiet here in Barovia. They say that it is darkest before the dawn. That's not true. And in nowhere is it more true than Barovia. Because it's darkest in the middle of the night. Just think about it. That's what makes sense. But eventually, the rosy fingers of dawn start to creep in. Father,
I don't like that sentence. I'm sorry.
The fog creeps in on little cat's feet.
Reference acknowledged.
So, Father Donovich, looking bleary-eyed as all get out, appears. Ismark and Irina start to kind of like wake up, and Father Donovich appears in the main room of the church and says, "It is time."
At last. Let's get this done.
Yeah,
Crucible gets to his feet and gives a nod to the priest. We are prepared to do our duty.
By the way, Crucible, thanks for hanging out instead of leaving last night.
My pleasure. I want to make sure that everybody feels safe and all necessary precautions are taken. I was very brave of you to investigate further.
Thanks for that guidance, by the way.
You're quite welcome.
So I'm going to assume that you are prepared to assist in moving the makeshift coffin out behind the church. There's a waiting spot in the graveyard where a grave has already been dug. There's a pile of dirt and some shovels next to it. And
Point of order, Tony. Did you say waiting or wading spot? Because that
Waiting.
makes a big difference. Okay, so it's not
There's
a
a
swamp.
kiddie pool.
It's not a swamp cemetery, is it?
he's a Barovian way, do not question.
We don't know what burial rites are like here.
It's traditional to have pool party to honor the dead.
But there's a swamp monster in
yes.
the pool.
Right.
Well, is also traditional Barovian way. Everything is monster. So Father Donovich leads your sad little progression with the five of you, plus Ismark carrying the coffin, followed by a pony, followed by a dog, followed by Irina Kolyana. You make your way out to the waiting grave site behind the church, and you help Ismark lower the coffin into the grave site. And Father Donovich says a few words.
Which are?
Kolyan Indirovich, you're a good man who did the people of Barovia as good as you could in hard times. May the Morning Lord watch over you, and you find some peace now. And then he signals to Ismark and Irina, and they pick up shovels and begin to bury their
Crucible also makes a sign and says, "May the blessings of Onatar be upon you, and may you be reforged in the next life."
And Brildish says, "In Hela's name, may you rest in peace."
They share a fist
And
bump.
Elevor. Let's
Turns
see.
into a bird.
But does not fly.
Yeah, it
just
is
wanna-
traditional to have octopus at Barovian
There it
funerals.
is. 1 sec. Yes. Okay. Elevor. It's a cantrip. Casts Druidcraft to make a flower blossom at the head of the grave, like next to the gravestone.
Father Donovich gives each of you kind of a friendly, tired nod and kind of in thanks. He seems to appreciate your presence here. So it takes a little bit of time, but Ismark and Irina finish filling in the grave, and Father Donovich turns to Ismark and says, "Ismark, the people of Barovia, little Barovia, have not been kind to you, but now they will look to you for leadership and guidance. It's time for you to shape up and do what you can for the town." And then he turns and heads back into the church.
All right.
So the five of you are just sitting there with brother and sister Indirovich as they smooth the dirt over on their grave. It's raining a little bit, just kind of a quiet little cold mist falling on you.
You know that the father cannot keep his son contained forever.
Yeah, I think we should go check that out.
Is
It
there
is
anything that
worth
can be
investigating.
done for him?
Would
There's
we-
only one thing that must be done for him, and that is to relieve him from his bestial form, whatever it may be.
I would feel better if the father were on board to concur with our assessment.
And if he's not, he'll try to prevent us from our task.
Is it really a task? I mean, he doesn't seem to be doing any harm down there. I mean, as long as he got earplugs.
It's because he's contained. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I can't imagine that it's anything very good.
And what happens when the father is no longer around to look after his son?
Ah,
He does seem pretty frail.
that's
Yeah, I
I
think
hadn't
we should
thought of
just-
that.
Go check it out.
Irina and Ismark are going to head back to their house, unless you have any further business with them.
Get out of here while you can.
Is that what you're saying to them?
Yep, that's my advice.
Okay.
Just leave.
Ismark, he kind of, motions to the five of you, and he says, "I thank you for what you have done for my family. The people of Barovia, maybe they do not believe in me, but maybe now I have a chance. You have been kind to me when none others have. I cannot thank you enough.
It is
I think
never
you can
too
do
late
it.
to change your ways, young man.
I will try."
Broldish? I heard that.
What did Broldish say?
Just said, I think you can do it.
No.
Oh, I thought because, okay, just a step away, aside on the table. I thought, so father said, or they said, I cannot thank you enough. And I thought you were going to say, well, you can thank us enough by giving us something. I thought that's where you were going with that. I was like, oh my gosh.
It pains me to ask more of you. You have done so much for me, but should you be departing here from Barovia, little Barovia, anytime soon, perhaps you could take my sister with you. It is not safe here. My family will be watched over by the devil. And he looks at the statue, or not statue. Haha, sorry. I went to the thing I'm default afraid of. He looks to the castle, which in a way is like a big statue shaped like a house. He looks to the castle on the mountain above the town, and kind of crosses himself. It is not safe for her here. Maybe she will be safe further away. Maybe in Valaki, maybe Kresk. But yes, should you be traveling from here, if I will assume you have already said no. I've already asked too much of you. But if you could find the kindness in your heart to take her with you, if she would be willing to even go, it would be for the best for her and for my family, perhaps even for the people of Barovia, little Barovia.
Lena looks him in the eyes and says, "If she stays, it's because she's worried after you. You can prove to her that you will be okay with her gone by not drinking so much wine, by not falling into disrepair. Otherwise, we'll never convince her to come with us."
I will
Can
try.
Elevor,
I will try.
wait, okay, never mind. I was just going to try to support the persuasion check there, but
Oh, yeah.
it was kind of just rolling. So
You could try. I mean, he is saying it. Perhaps actions are different from words. So
That's true.
He could always be more convinced, let's say.
Yeah, so while Lena was sort of saying those things, Elevor was kind of like counting them in the air. One, you
Yeah,
could stop drinking as
hype
much
man.
wine. Two, you could start, yeah. And then I'm going to say it's clear that this, or first I'm like, exactly. You should really listen to Lena. It's clear that this place is no longer safe, and your best bet and the best bet of the people you care about is to find a new place to call home. And then he rolls a persuasion check. That's, oh my God, I didn't realize I had a +6 persuasion. What up?
Wow.
21.
Wow.
They all pick up and move.
Yeah, Ismark says, I will try, but the people of the town, they little Barovia is all they know, and the tales of those who travel on the roads are that it is dangerous and treacherous, and I do not know. I will stay here and I will try and unite the people, but if you are leaving, do not wait for us, because it may take some work, it may take some doing. We have already seen so much, and they are only more entrenched in their ways. My father's death has only made them more scared, not more willing to take action. But I see now that this is not a life that we can continue to live here in fear, in the shadow of the devil.
Well, if you are
it's sort of like, go
Sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
If you are concerned for your sister and she is willing to leave, we would be more than happy. I apologize for speaking out of turn if I'm speaking for the rest of you, but I feel that we would be more than happy to make sure that she is escorted to some other safer location.
She can ride pony.
Yeah. That's speaking for me as well, Crucible. I am happy to help protect this person. I still feel, in where I'm from, there's a parable. There's a group of ants, and they every year harvest
A pair of voles?
their food, and they stack it piles and piles and piles high. And each year, grasshoppers come and they take most of the food of those ants. And those ants, time and time again, just give up their food, give up their food, give up their food. Crucible, I'm speaking. And the problem with that is that they continued to let this happen. And finally, they decided that enough was enough, thanks to one very clever ant. And they stood up for themselves. And it was hard to make happen, but they finally had freedom. And so what I see right now, little Barovia, you've kind of placed yourself at the foot of these grasshoppers, in this case, let's go with Hopper is the name of the devil here. You've placed yourself at the foot of Hopper, and all of you ants in this city should just find either find a new place to go or stand up and say, listen, you can't have our food stores anymore.
That is a wonderful story. Truly, a bug's life is very difficult.
Indeed. And one day you too could be a beautiful butterfly.
We do not have ants in Barovia, but I will think on this. Jane, please update the list.
Okay.
There aren't any ants in
Beard
Barovia
clocked
either.
ants.
Well, no
thank you.
anteaters, clearly.
That wouldn't make any sense, Dan.
Yeah.
It's, I should be seeing to some things in town.
Good luck.
You know, I'm thinking that maybe you don't realize how large the grasshoppers grow here, Elevor.
Clearly not.
Do you
Because
have
these people are
giant
scared.
grasshoppers?
Oh, God.
We have giant everything.
Fascinating.
In fact, the only thing that should be added to the list is no small things.
There's some small things.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Well, I guess, yeah. Are we gonna you still want to investigate the sun before we go?
I think you need to come to a consensus as a group about what you want to do with.
Sure, I'm willing to just discuss it and talk to the priest again, or whatever.
I'm curious to hear,
I'd
yeah,
just
what
go
do
open
people
this
think about it?
door.
There is going to be a crying priest who either begs us not to kill his son or attempts physically to stop us. I've seen this before. But whatever's happening with him, it is no existence, and even if the father can't see it, we need to release his son from whatever this is.
Well, I found Elevor's discussion with Ismark very persuasive. Perhaps he could attempt to make the father see reason.
I tried
Perhaps
that
he
before,
could make
though.
the father see reason while some of us sneak down into the basement.
Yeah.
Elevor pulls out a lute and he sings, I don't like that because it's sketchy and I don't like those sketchy moves.
I think Spurious Whisperface just got a royalty check.
Elevor,
Fair.
so I will say, like, this whole time, Elevor has been very... I don't know. I think Elevor kind of has made a little bit of a rapport and relationship with Father Dongle.
Yes, clearly you're very close.
So I feel like y'all can do that if you want to, but I should not know about it.
Oh, Lena has said this all kind of outright.
Okay.
And
Well, then,
Brildish would never try to sneak around behind the back of her pal Elevor.
aw.
And Pony would never sneak around behind Pony. And Amra would never sneak behind a pony. And
Pony wouldn't sneak around because we can communicate telepathically. So
yeah, Pony
there's no
is currently
sneaking.
stuck in a chair.
But-
Pony
so-
would never
so,
sneak
Tony,
around
can
because
I-
Pony's a horse.
Tony, could I make any sort of check, religion, arcana, something, to know if there is any way to cure the sun?
Yeah, because I'm interested in that as well.
You probably have to know what
yeah,
his
that's my
deal
thing is.
I mean, we can assure the father that if we can figure out a way to cure his son, we would do so, but I worry very much for the citizens of this town with such a threat literally simmering underfoot.
Crucible, do you want to give me I would say probably a religion check?
Sure. That was a 17.
Crucible, I am going to tell you that when it seems like you have not seen this creature yourself, but based upon what Father Donovich has told you, if he is an undead creature, one can't really come back from that.
Okay.
And especially he has been in the state he has been in for quite some time. So, I mean, probably from your perspective, he is a monster that happens to look like someone you used to know, and that is unfortunate. But that, all of the things that truly made his son who he was are dead, even if the body still moves around and screams.
All right.
I got a 20 on my religion check. I assume I came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I feel like Lena has perhaps persuaded me
It
in
may
my
be up to
paladin
us
ways
to do what the
think-
father cannot.
Mhm. And this is presuming he is indeed undead and not, say, just sick.
Yes.
But yeah,
He's
I,
got
Or
a bad-
weird.
He has a bad cold. I
feel
need
so.
Theraflu.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, he
God.
could be alive, but just really weird and creepy.
Yeah. Yep. We don't kill
Who
people in
can say?
In
Barovia
that
for
case,
being.
we've got questions for the priest about why he locked up his.
We don't kill people for being creepy here in Barovia. You guys would all be dead at this point.
All right.
Okay.
So we tell the priest our intentions.
So Father Donovich is standing on the steps of his church, just kind of, I guess, thinking as you approach. You know, he's got a lot of downtime in his days, I think is what I'm saying. You come back around to the front of the church and he's standing there by the door.
I'm
He
welcome.
kind of nods at you.
I'm willing to take a shot at this, but my persuasion is -1, so I may not be the best person for the job. But if nobody else feels like doing it, Crucible will fall.
You'd have
on
to
that sword.
convince Elevor if you wanted. You'd have to persuade Elevor if you wanted him to persuade.
Can I roll insight
Dumbledore.
on the priest based on our interactions?
Yeah. I'm
to
also going to
see-
say that you have at this point advantage on any persuasion related things with the priest because you have you built up a rapport with him. He sees that you're good people. He's confided some things in you.
Yeah. I my primary goal is to see how I think he'll react, if I think he'll do anything rash or like try to stop us, or if I think he knows this deep down and would let us, investigate.
Sure.
I'm hoping it's the latter because
Give me an
he's a
insight
priest.
check.
That is a crit plus 8.
Heck yes.
You know, I think that if you could use one word to sum up Father Donovich, it is that he is tired.
Oh,
He is so very tired. And he has just been doing what he can to get by. And, he does not really... He is a people that the few people of Little Barovia can trust in him. And he does not have anyone to go to for help himself. And though he would be very reluctant probably to, assist in the course of action, I think you all are suggesting, I think he would be prepared to let it happen. Is that helpful, Lena?
Yeah, it definitely is. And she conveys this, that after thinking about it, she thinks as long as he wouldn't stop us, she has no issue with telling him.
Crucible's willing to talk to the priest too, as a fellow man of the cloth, or not person of the cloth.
Yeah.
So
Construct of the
he'll-
cloth.
Yes, he'll go up to the priest, lay a hand on his shoulder, and say, "Father, now that we have helped you lay Ismark's burden to rest, perhaps we can help you remove the burden that you have been carrying."
and then you stab him.
Wow.
This is
That
why
was
we
easy.
can't have nice things.
Wow.
Perhaps it would be nice if someone were to take a walk with Father Donovich while this happened.
Like, take a walk?
Maybe Elevor wants to take a walk.
All right, I'll take a walk with Father Dongle Boy.
And turn into a rat and sit on his shoulder.
Close.
So that was
So
closest
cute.
yet.
All right, so it's early morning. Elevor and Father Donovich are going to go for a little stroll. He kind of avoids looking back over his shoulder at the church. He has some things he'll chat with you about, Elevor. Meanwhile, back in the church, we're going to say that Pony is outside now.
Sure.
Pony doesn't want to come down into the basement?
Ponies
Oh,
can't go
God.
downstairs, Cannon.
So hungry.
So,
We
Wait,
brought you a
hold on,
pony.
hold on.
No.
It is a trap door. It's not like it's a staircase.
We got to pause. All right, so is it canon that in Big Barovia or Little Barovia, horses cannot go downstairs?
in Little Barovia, horses can't go downstairs.
But in Big
Local
Barovia, they
ordinance.
can?
We don't know yet. We don't know,
Oh,
Michael.
that's
We are
true,
world
that's true.
building.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
I'm totally fine with horses not being able to go downstairs because this is a pony.
Okay. Can ponies go downstairs?
We don't know, but that is you know what? You don't get inspiration for
I'm
rules
sorry,
lawyer.
I'm not even there.
Yes,
I'm
thank
not
you.
even
That's
there,
right.
so.
No one is there because the pony is outside. All right.
Oh, golly.
So the screaming seemed to stop around dawn, but you gather in the kind of ruined trash room of the church. There is a swollen with water from the elements getting in to this room little trap door here. It's going to take some work to get that open. So yay.
Who's strong?
I'm kind
Pretty
of strong.
I got.
You may
yeah.
be stronger than I am.
I don't know. I'm plus
Only
3.
one of you can try and force a trap door open at a time.
My strength is my strength bonus is +4, so it's just a straight up strength check.
Do it up.
Yep.
21.
Okay, you have no trouble, Broldish, popping open the trap door.
Before they go down into it, Crucible will take he's got sort of kind of a spear on his back, and he will remove that. He will murmur something and place a hand on it, and you see both a rune on his forehead that you didn't notice before start to glow, and then the spear start to glow slightly for a moment in sympathy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So you can see down into the basement or undercroft of the church. It's dark.
I can go first.
Who has night vision?
I can cast light
I think
too
I do.
if we need that.
Okay.
Do we see any sort of reflection of the light from the room on the ground? Like, do we think that there's water down there?
I mean, it seems damp, but there does not look like there's standing water in the
Okay.
basement. You're concerned about property
I
values?
do have dark vision, so I can go first, but I'm also...
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to go first, why don't whoever is going to go first move their token over? I made a little map to the right
Could
with the basement.
Lena drop a torch down there?
Sure.
Okay. So she would like to do so.
Oh, so it's...
There's a
yeah,
little
I
bit
was
of drop,
expecting-
and then there's some steps.
Oh, okay. Then she won't light the steps on fire.
Thanks.
As
Appreciate
fun
that.
as that sounds.
Professional adventurer, Lena Delina.
Okay. So she'll have a torch in one hand, at least unless somebody casts light.
I can
Okay.
cast light on
Okay.
something.
So
Oh.
Lena, you can cast it on the torch. That would be unnecessary.
I'm
Well, if it
carrying a
goes out, you
shield,
never know.
so I will touch my shield and have it start to
Awesome.
glow.
Thank you.
So let me just describe the undercroft, the basement of the church. It's kind of rough-hewn walls because Dungeons & Dragons loves the term rough-hewn. It's carved out of the stone and earth. The ground is just kind of damp clay. There's not really any kind of furniture or rooms down here. There's just these beams, pillars, wooden pillars that are holding up the floor of the church above you. It kind of sags and strains under them. The pillars all look kind of damp and maybe a little rotten. There is a little bit of light coming in through kind of cracks in the floor. And you can see, it looks like some kind of shape moving around in the far corner opposite where you're dropping down here.
I
Did
would
we
like to use my divine sense. So as an action, I can detect good and evil, and until the end of my next turn, I can sense anything that is affected by the Hallow spell, or I can know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Well, Breldish, you detect an undead creature lurking in the corner of the church basement.
Did we find out what the son's name is, or is he just
I don't
Hey,
know.
Son-
Sunny!
Son Donovich?
I know what his name is. I don't know if any of you asked.
I'm
No,
trying
I don't
to-
think we did. Okay.
It looks like
no,
I didn't write
I think
it down.
we mostly asked, why is he screaming?
Is it,
Yeah.
is it Chad?
It's not Chad, Dan.
Okay, just checking. Chad Mark.
No.
So,
There are no Chads.
So I
we
say
head
to
further
everybody-
down.
There are no Chads in Barovia. Jane?
This list is growing really fast. Okay, do we want to head further in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I will tell everybody behind me, I will say, he is definitely undead. I can tell from here, which...
Lena unsheaths her swords.
Yep, I've got my weapon out as
Yep.
well.
All right.
I have my
And
axe.
so you head deeper into the dark, gloomy church basement. You can see some kind of shadow, or in the shadows, a creature kind of darting back and forth between the columns in the far corner of the church basement. And as you get closer, your torchlight kind of flickers upon its face, and you see the gaunt, hungry face of a young man. But he looks relatively human, were it not for a mouth full of sharp, pointy teeth. And he lunges at you. Will this horrible undead nightmare kill 4 out of 5 of the party? Will Elevor have a nice chat with Donovich for answers to questions such as these? Tune in next time to Total Party Kill.